Hello and welcome to Vet Our Democracy podcast, created by us, the nonprofit, nonpartisan, pro-democracy group, We the Veterans and Military Families. In this series, we explore what it means to be a citizen, what veterans and military families' roles are in supporting and defending our Constitution following military service, and how you can get more involved to help create a more perfect union. We're all in this democracy thing together, and it's important to know our rights and responsibilities and how our government is supposed to work so we can engage patriotically and positively to help bring about the best version of America. If you care about America, democracy, mom, baseball, and apple pie, this is the podcast for you. Welcome, everyone, to our first podcast for Vet Our Democracy. So to tee this all up, this whole series is going to be about veterans and their families, what's our role in American politics and democracy and civics, how do we carry this nation and help bring it together in a productive and positive manner. So I think for our very first episode, we wanted to do, Ben had the idea to do something around like, how America are you? Ben, you want to explain that a little bit?
Well, yeah. So, my wife recently became a citizen. And as part of that, we did a lot of studying for the citizenship test. And I was kind of surprised to learn that some of the questions aren't that easy and they're sort of relatively specific answers. And so we thought, as a test of ourselves, folks who believe themselves to be relatively well informed on matters of civics, how would we do on the test? Now, I already have been through the answers multiple times, so I won't be testing myself, but I'll be asking the questions to Joe, Jeremy, and Ellen, and we'll see how everyone does, and we'll see whether or not Ellen cheated.
I didn't cheat, I promise.
The answer is yes.
And for the folks listening to play along too and see if you can get to the answer faster than us. And just for a statement of fact, like neither Ellen, Jeremy, nor I have had any advance notice of the questions or the answers to this. So we are coming to this completely cold on a Monday morning, poorly caffeinated. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it is still dark here because it is still dark out here.
Awesome. Okay, so now we set
I feel like this is a little like taking your driver's license written test, where it doesn't matter how good of a driver you are. Like if you didn't study the material, you don't know how many feet from a fire hydrant you're supposed to park. You just kind of wing it. Like I feel like this is kind of how this is going to go.
So some of them are going to be really easy, and some of them are going to not. And we'll see how you guys answer the not so easy ones. Okay, so the deal is that to pass, you have to answer 6 out of 10 questions correctly. There are 100 possible questions. So we'll try and run through all of them. But if anyone gets less than 6 out of their first 10 correct, you have failed.
Do we get deported? Do we get to stay if we get this wrong?
Oh yeah, right.
Do not pass this on to officials.
Okay,
I'm nervous too.
So here's the order. We'll go Ellen, Joe, Jeremy. Does that work for you all? Okay.
Yep.
Ellen, you're getting the softball as the first one. So should we jump into it? Everyone ready?
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
I'm nervous.
What is the supreme law of the land, Ellen?
The United States Constitution.
Correct.
Nice.
Man, that was a total softball.
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
Joe, what does the Constitution do?
Governs our laws.
We can probably, I don't know if they would give you credit for that, but I'll tell you what the answers are. It sets up the government, defines the government, or protects the basic rights of Americans.
Protects the basic rights of Americans.
There you go. We're going to give you, Joe, we'll give you one incorrect.
Harsh.
That was a tough one. I'm
hard.
on your side here, Joe. That was a rough start for you.
There are a few of those. Okay. Jeremy, the idea of self-government is in the first 3 words of the Constitution. What are these words?
We the people?
Yes, sir. Correct.
Well done.
Thank you.
All right.
I said with confidence, too, you'll notice.
That was good. Yeah, you get points for that.
Thank you.
Ellen, what is an amendment?
An addition to the original Bill of Rights of the Constitution?
I would actually say technically that is incorrect.
I agree.
Ooh. Wow. Okay.
Any change to the
Tell me.
Constitution, right?
And not just to the Bill of Rights. It's to the,
Yeah, that's
to the
you
entire
had it.
Oh,
I think you
sorry.
had it, but then you
All right,
yeah.
okay.
Overthought
it's
it.
So what's the official? What's the official?
a change or an addition to the Constitution.
Okay.
But the Bill of Rights is already a series of amendments. And so you're not just changing that, you're changing the full Constitution. Right?
Good to know.
All right.
Okay. Joe.
Yes.
What do we call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution? Softball.
Yeah.
The the Bill of Rights. Yeah. Right.
There you go. Correct.
All right. I get to stay.
You're in. Yeah, you're still in the hunt. Okay, Jeremy, what is one right or freedom from the First Amendment?
Oh man, see, this is is the First Amendment freedom of speech?
Bingo.
You tell me.
All right, I'm going with freedom of speech.
Correct.
Woo.
You've got speech, religion, assembly, freedom of the press, and the right to petition the government.
Nice.
Well done, sir. Okay.
Thank you.
Ellen, how many amendments does the Constitution have?
Ooh.
That's tough.
26.
27?
So close, Joe. It's not your turn. But Ellen, that is incorrect. It is 27. Joe was right.
Oh
man.
Hey, do I get a point for that?
Do I get a point for being? Do I get half a point for being close?
I'm afraid
I'm taking some L's here, man. I need a couple W's.
You guys, I told you I didn't study.
But that was, that's one of those ones like feed from a hydrant. Although, if you haven't taken your civics class lately, that you were close though with 26.
Yep.
Nice.
Okay. Who's up? Joe. What did the Declaration of Independence do?
Oh, it put King George III of Britain on notice. Like, we're up out of here. We're not doing this colony thing anymore.
Is that your official answer?
Yeah, we told the King of England to get stuffed. It's said that, hey, we're a sovereign country and we're going to make our own laws and elect our own leaders, and we're done with this monarchy BS. We don't care about Charles or Diana or, Elizabeth or none of that junk. We're done with Hanoverian kings.
Okay, I think we'll give you credit for that. The
right.
Official answers are announced our independence, declared our independence, and or said that the United States is free from Great Britain.
Awesome.
He had it in Hanoverian in there, which, that is impressive, and I don't even understand what it means, but it sounded
I was thinking back to Hamilton,
Yeah, exactly.
We'll be back. Yeah.
Jeremy, what are two rights in the Declaration of Independence?
Two rights in the Declaration of... Oh, man.
Oh.
We didn't set a timer on this. Declaration of Independence. I'm just going to wave it. I don't know. I'd be
life, liberty,
and I'd be sitting here thinking.
Life, liberty, happiness.
Pursuit of happiness.
Is that really?
Pursuit of happiness.
Oh, man, that's BS. I thought it was something a little bit more specific there.
Yeah, you're right, Joe. Pursuit of happiness. You're not guaranteed happiness. Pursuit of happiness.
There you go.
Jeremy's first wrong answer.
Man,
okay.
That's painful.
Ellen, what is the freedom of religion?
It is the ability to practice any religion or not practice a religion, and to gather with other people to practice that religion, and for other people to be able to gather separate from the state and practice their own religion.
Are you reading that from somewhere?
No. But was that good?
Yeah.
Pretty much verbatim. You can practice any religion or not practice a religion.
Nice.
Well done. Okay.
I'm back. I'm back.
Seriously,
I'm climbing
big
up the
time.
shores.
Joe, what is
Yes.
the economic system in the United States?
We are a capitalist system.
Correct. Capitalist economy or market economy is also correct.
Dollar bill, y'all, right?
Yeah, it's interesting that they include. I mean, that's got to be like a Cold War vestige or something,
Seriously.
right? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is, Jeremy, the rule of law?
Rule of law.
That's hard.
I'm gonna wing it here completely, and I'm starting to sweat because this could potentially be 2 wrong answers in a row. The rule of law. I was starting to think that it has something to do with states' rights, but I don't think so. So I don't know. Maybe it's something along the lines of if it's not stated in the Constitution, it's not a federally mandated law.
You're getting a little. You're trying to get a little too technical there. Rule of law. It's the definition, and the answer here is the kind of the general definition of rule of law, which is that everyone must follow the law. Leaders must obey the law, government must obey the law, and no one is above the law.
Oh, interesting.
Important. I like that.
That's okay. Where is that stated? Now this is a sidebar. I'm not contesting it, but and we can follow up on that. But that's not.
Sounds like we all need to go to a civics class, everyone. Yeah. I mean, we've got some questions.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good.
So I don't know that is stated. I don't think it's stated in the Constitution or any of our kind of founding documents, but it's a kind of foundational principle of a functioning democracy, right?
Yeah. Okay.
To the extent
go ahead. Just for the record, if I end up not getting my 6 right, I might wage a protest on this question.
Thanks to the First Amendment, you are allowed to. Because of your freedom of speech and your freedom of petitioning the government and your freedom of assembly. So,
all right, now you're showing off.
We're on it.
Let's
freedom to be ignorant.
That's a good point because it's like the antidote to mob rule, right? I mean, it's we all decide to limit our autonomy and freedom to the extent that we respect the rights of other people, right? Like. I remember, in high school, Mr. Montford was like, "My right to swing my arms around ends at the end of your nose," right? Like, so, it's just like you're not allowed to cause harm to other people. So, yeah.
All right.
Moving on. Okay, who's up? Ellen is up, and you get another softball. Name one branch or part of the government.
Judicial branch.
Correct. Congress, legislative, president, executive, the courts, judicial are all correct answers.
Nice.
Joe, what stops one of those branches of government from becoming too powerful?
Checks and balances, as enumerated in the Constitution of the United States.
Correct. Separation of powers is also a valid answer. Jeremy, who's in charge of the executive branch?
Oh, that's the president of the United States, POTUS.
Ellen, who makes federal laws?
The Congress, the legislative branch.
Correct. Congress, Senate, and House is also correct, or the U.S. or national legislature. Joe, what are the 2 parts of the Congress?
Oh, the House of Representatives and the United States Senate.
Correct. How many senators are there, Jeremy?
100 senators.
Bingo.
Assuming we're not counting shadow senators and things like that, which gets complicated.
That's a concept I don't even know what that is. What are you talking about there?
It's
DC or something?
No, I think it does relate to DC. I'm not even fully certain, but it's a phrase that's out there somewhere. And
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, is that in the House or when you get the folks from Guam, martial law, they have they can't vote on anything, but they have a seat, right? Like
they can hold hearings and comment.
Yeah.
That's on the House side. A shadow senator is a phrase. I don't know. I'll look it up. That'll be a little extra credit thing, but it's something.
Yeah.
But like like DC has a delegate that can't vote but can introduce legislation. I think it's the same with Guam and the others. But
which is why DC
just stuck with
plate for taxation without representation, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, Ellen. We elect a senator for how many years?
6.
Correct. Joe, this is one of the location specific questions. Who is one of your state's U.S. senators now?
Oh, mine here in Virginia,
Yeah.
Tim Kaine.
Excellent. Okay. Do you know the other one?
Senator from Virginia.
You don't have
I
to.
just moved
for
here,
credit.
Ben. I just moved here. I was in Maryland.
All right. I shouldn't have followed.
I knew it was Cardin and Van Hollen in my last state. I just literally just moved here. So
no worries. You get credit.
I know who to call. At least one of them.
That's right.
Jeremy, here's a semi-tough one. The House of Representatives has how many voting members?
435.
Bingo.
Well, was that correct, or what did you say?
No, you're
right. Okay, good. Yeah, I was making sure that I wasn't counting what we just talked about with I was like, oh wait, I guess that doesn't include. I didn't realize that until we just started talking about it that number does not include those non-voting, but that makes sense. All right.
Yeah, I think that's why they add the word voting in that question, right?
Yeah. Mark Warner's my other one. Synapse disconnected. There we go. All right.
Okay, Ellen, you get the same question again. We elect a U.S. representative for how many years?
2.
2 years is correct. Joe, you get the same one again. Name your U.S. representative.
Oh my God. 6th District, Virginia. What's his name? I was just on his website like 2 weeks ago. We haven't formed a relationship yet, Ben. So I'm like, I'm going to take L on that one. I can't. It's not enough coffee, man. I can't pull it out.
You get 5 more seconds.
What is his name? I got it. Is it Klein?
I don't know. Is it Klein?
If you say it with confidence, you're not going to get questioned.
We will look that one up after we get through the answers, and we'll find out if you get a correct one or an incorrect one.
Ben Klein. There we go. Yeah.
Nice. Good job.
All right.
Man, I was sweating that one.
Okay, Jeremy, who does a U.S. senator represent?
The entire state. Is that
correct?
Okay.
Yeah, we'll give you a correct answer on that. The technical answer here is all people of the state.
Nice.
Good point.
Okay, Ellen, why do some states have more representatives than the other?
Because the number of representatives is based on population, whereas the number of senators is equally distributed across the states.
Thank you for going above and beyond.
Yeah.
You guys, you know I get extra credit for that.
That's
guys.
like one of the
I
big
was sitting in the
debates,
front
right?
row of class, raising
That's
my
right.
hand, holding my hand up like this, being like, come on, call on me again.
Yeah, but I mean that's one of the big debates about the Electoral College, and if we should keep it, right? So like you have a little state with 2 senators, like I think the entire population of a state like Wyoming could fit inside Lower Manhattan, right? I mean, interesting.
Also, the number of representatives in theory should be increasing as the national population grows, because that's also getting thrown off by not changing that number.
Yeah.
Totally. Who's up? Joe. How we elect a president for how many years?
4.
Correct. Jeremy, in what month do we vote for president?
November.
Correct.
Fast approaching.
It
At least
is.
a month. We're not voting for president this year, but November is fast approaching.
I mean, November 2024 is fast approaching.
Yeah, it's true. It's
At light
very
speed.
quickly approaching. Yes, good point.
Ellen, what is the name of the president right now?
President Joe Biden. Junior, I think.
Joseph Robinette Biden Jr.
I know. I was going to say extra credit if you get his middle name.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Joe, who is the vice president?
Right now, Vice President Harris.
Yes, Vice President Harris. Jeremy, if the president can no longer serve, who becomes president?
Vice president.
Ellen, if both the president and the vice president can no longer serve, who becomes president?
The what's the name? The head of the Senate, the person that's in charge of the Senate? No, really? The House? The Speaker of the House. Interesting.
Correct,
I thought it was the head of the Senate. I'm sorry. Okay, Speaker of the House.
I think we're going to have to give you an incorrect on that.
That's fine. You're right.
Close, though. Just across the hall.
Yeah, I thought it was that's interesting. Okay. People rule, man.
Joe, who is the commander-in-chief of the military?
The President of the United States.
Yes, sir. Jeremy,
Joseph
who signed
Robinette Biden.
bills?
Junior.
Jeremy, who signs bills to become laws?
The president.
Yes, he does. Ellen, who vetoes bills?
He or she. The President of the United States. He or she.
Also the president. He or
Does
she.
he really?
Allegedly. Okay, here's a tough one. Who's up? Joe. What does the president's cabinet do?
Oh, advises him on policy and executes the decisions of the president and serves at the will of the president, right? At the pleasure of the president.
I think we'll give you a correct on that. It is simply the official answer is simply advises the president.
Okay. All right.
Everyone happy to give Joe credit on that?
Yeah, he gets credit.
I think that was his, yeah.
They do things.
They do.
So that's I think everyone has passed.
Oh, thank God.
I forgot about that part.
Okay.
I was worried. I thought they were going to kick me out of the country when I went to the Ohio State University for 4 years and never once went to a Big Ten football game.
Oh, man.
I know.
You might get
You all
out
get
of
to
the
keep your
alumni
citizenship.
association.
Thank God.
But we'll keep going and see, how much more we can embarrass ourselves.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Okay.
Should we do drunk Shakespeare? Everybody take a shot and then
I mean, it's 7:00 in the morning somewhere, right?
Oh, boy. Yeah.
All right. I think Joe just answered. Yeah. Jeremy, what are 2 cabinet level positions?
Secretary of Defense and Secretary of State.
Nice.
That is correct. The secretaries are Agriculture, Commerce, Defense, Education, Energy, Health and Human Services, Homeland Security, Housing and Urban Development, Interior, Labor, State Transportation, Treasury, Veterans Affairs. Mm-hmm. The Attorney General is the cabinet level position, as is the Vice President.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Ellen, what does the judicial branch do?
It decides debates over the law. Cases, debates, right? Is that the way to say it?
I think we'll give you a correct on that. The official answers are reviews laws, explains laws, resolves disputes.
Resolve dispute, yeah.
Disagreements.
That's a better way to say it. Yeah.
Decides if a law goes against the Constitution. Joe, what's the highest court in the United States?
The Supreme Court
It is.
of the United States of America.
Correct, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr.
I was going to guess the People's Court, but
People's Court.
Judge Judy might be the Supreme Court.
Jeremy, how many justices are on the Supreme Court?
9. Unless I feel like this is one of those where it can be a trick question, and you being the lawyer can because what is it? There's 8, and then the Chief Justice or something like that. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I think 9 is the answer they're looking
he still qualifies as a justice, but that number is not fixed in stone.
Yeah.
Right. There's a debate about should we have more.
Mhm.
And it's grown and shrunk over the years, right? But I think
Yeah.
there's a good, reasonable push to say if we have so many federal districts, right, we had to have a Supreme Court justice for each one.
I haven't heard that line of argument, but yeah, there's definitely certain elements are pushing for expansion.
Yeah. Or and should they be lifelong appointments too, right? So,
Yeah,
Right.
okay,
that's the other debate.
So.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah, and there's obviously two sides to that, right? You don't have a lifelong appointment, then you worry about what the justices are just interviewing for their next job, right? So
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, who just answered that one? Jeremy?
Yep.
Okay, Ellen, who's the Chief Justice?
John Roberts. Chief
Correct.
Justice John Roberts.
Yeah. Yes.
Of the Supreme Court of the United
Of the
States
Supreme Court of the
America.
United States of America. Yeah.
Joe, under our Constitution, some powers belong to the federal government. What is one power of the federal government?
Oh,
This would be exclusive to the states.
raise armies, collect taxes. Yeah.
Both. No. The second one is not correct, but it is the power of the federal government exclusively to create an army. Yes.
Yeah.
But states can levy taxes, of course, right?
Yeah. Oh, exclusive. Okay. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Although, actually, now in reading that question, I don't know if it is exclusive, but that's not one of the recognized answers for some reason. Under the Constitution, some powers belong to the state. I mean, it does say belong, right? So anyway, what is one of the power of the states exclusively? Sorry, that's Jeremy.
Exclusive to the states would be. Well, I feel like I should be able to come up with something right off the top of my head. Exclusive to the states.
I have a good one.
Run
elections.
You got to wait until Jeremy.
I guess that is true. I was thinking. I mean, now I've already lost because I was going to take that one, but the elections one is a very good point.
Yeah, run elections, right?
Yeah.
So that's not. It's not
it is. It's 14th Amendment.
It's not a recognized answer, yeah. But
we're gonna go. I'm gonna talk to the people that run the civics test and have a little chat.
Is there any circumstance under which the federal government runs an election? What about in any of the territories? I don't know. But that's not power of the states. Okay, so anyway, the recognized answers are.
Oh, I know. Marriage laws.
Yeah, I think that generally falls under the state, but so they're provide schooling and education, provide protection, so police, provide safety, fire departments, give a driver's license, approve zoning and land use.
But back to what Jeremy said earlier, and all powers not enumerated in the Constitution go to the states, right?
There you go.
Generally speaking, yeah, that's right.
So I should get credit because I said that earlier. So
yeah, for sure, Jeremy.
Yeah.
And also, the one that I cut you off with actually was also not a right answer. So, I
think between the three of us, we're doing pretty good, though. Like,
I think so. Yeah, overall.
Like, if we walk around together, we'll be fine.
Yep.
Okay, Ellen, who is your governor?
My governor is Greg Youngkin. I think it's Greg is his first name. Youngkin.
Youngkin, yes. Yes, it is. Joe.
Yes.
What's the capital of your state?
Richmond.
Correct. Jeremy, who are the two major political parties in the United States?
The Republicans and the Democrats.
That is correct. Ellen, what political party is President Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. a member of?
The Democratic political party of the United States of America.
He is a Democrat.
On Earth.
Ooh, okay. Here's an interesting one. It's also one of the current and specific questions. Who's up, Joe?
Okay.
What is the name of the Speaker of the House of Representatives?
Right now,
Ooh.
there is
Right
no
now.
Speaker of the House
There
of
is no speaker.
Representatives.
Right.
It's a temporary dude. What,
I
McHenry?
was going to say, yeah. I can't remember who the temporary guy is.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
McHenry? Is that what it was?
technically, he's not the Speaker, though, is he?
Right. No, he's like the interim, the acting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Acting, is that what his title is? Yep.
He's getting paid for a job he's not doing.
Yeah.
Or, yeah. No, the other way around.
So
He's doing a job he's not getting paid for.
Doing a job. Right.
Yeah.
I
getting
checked.
frocked.
That's right.
I checked the test, the temporary or like the update answers. They'll actually accept 3 correct answers. So that guy, Kevin McCarthy, and none are acceptable answers right now. I guess so that people who aren't totally up on current events don't get them.
Right.
Yeah.
Very
okay. Who's up? Ellen.
Jeremy.
Oh yeah, no, I think it is me.
Jeremy, sorry, yeah.
Yep.
Jeremy, Ellen does not want another question out of turn. There are 4 amendments to the Constitution about who can vote. Describe one of them.
Allowing women to vote.
Bingo.
Is that what you were looking for? Okay.
That's got to be one of them.
Okay.
But it's not.
No, really?
It's not.
19th.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Black
what? People, women.
Any citizen can vote. Yeah, it's captured in that. The answers are citizens 18 and older can vote. You don't have to pay a poll tax to vote. Any citizen can vote. In other words, women and men can vote. A male citizen of any race can vote. I guess that was, before any citizen.
Right.
Yeah. Ellen, what is one responsibility that is only for United States citizens?
Responsibility that's only for United States citizens?
Yeah, we do have some responsibilities as citizens.
To vote would be a responsibility, but it's not necessary. Or to vote is a responsibility. It's not a law. It's not a rule.
Yeah, right. So there is one that is a rule, though. You're correct. That's a correct answer. The one that is a rule, though, is serving on a jury, unless you have a valid.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, that's also a responsibility. But wait, are there any more? Like, the list is probably quite short. Perhaps it should be longer, but is it quite short?
That is the list. It's those 2. There may very well be more that I'm just not thinking of. I don't know. I was, yeah, it's interesting. I'm not sure what else would fall in there. One we'll have to come back to. Joe, name one right only for U.S. citizens.
One right only for U.S. citizens. To vote. Ellen said it, right? To vote in public elections.
Correct. You want to try for the other one?
Yeah, let's see. It's not trial by jury, because if you're caught here from another country doing something, you're going to go to trial, right? At a jury trial.
Yeah.
Is it run for elected office?
For federal office. That's right. Yeah.
Good job.
Nice job. Yeah.
Pulled that one out.
Yeah. Jeremy, what are 2 rights of everyone living in the United States?
Rights of everyone living in the United States. Right. Can we go back to free speech?
Yes, you can.
Okay. And freedom of religion?
That's right. Freedom of
Pursuit of
expression.
happiness. I don't know. I can go back to what I missed. Yeah, I'll stop.
Yeah. Expression, speech, assembly, petition the government, religion,
Yeah.
and they even included the right to bear arms.
Oh, interesting. I purposely
So
didn't. I
non-citizens-
almost said that one, but
So
I.
even non-citizens living in the United States have that right.
Yeah.
According to this test, and case law.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Living
That
in
is.
rural Virginia, I reserve the right to arm bears. So, yeah.
Ellen,
Yeah.
to what do we show loyalty when we say the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the United States flag, to the flag of the United States of America, to the emblem of the United States of America, to the Constitution and the flag.
You only get one answer.
All of it.
You only get 17 answers. Both of which were wrapped up into that word, to the United States and the flag. Yeah.
The republic for which it stands.
That's right.
Yeah,
I thought you were
flag.
just going to start reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, yeah.
Alan.
I was about to. Well,
just answer it by.
don't make me
giving
sing.
the
I'll start.
words.
I mean, I'll start in with the national anthem. You guys will all stand up. It'll be great.
You don't have colors out in front of your house where it's 7:30 in the morning. You're running up the.
No,
your
but
kids
I
will-
think I've told some of you guys this, that my kids have started to just out of the blue ask Alexa to play the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, sorry, the national anthem. So
Yeah.
ask Alexa to play the national anthem, and they know that all of us are going to stop what we're doing and stand up because that's what we do in our house.
Yeah.
And they do it just to mess with us. Like my husband and I are like, you guys stop playing the national anthem because we have to go on with our lives.
I just remember walking around
awesome.
on military bases and it'd be like dun 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 dun. As soon as they sounded colors, man, people would be darting inside to like not have to stand
Absolutely.
up.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we're all patriots, but yeah, if I don't have to
That's
stand
right,
in place.
but
That's funny.
Yeah.
Who's up? Jeremy?
no,
No, Ellen just answered the last one?
Yeah, I think that was. Oh, yeah. There's
Joe.
representation.
Okay.
What is one promise you make when you become a citizen?
One promise?
Yeah, so I'll give some color. You have to say an oath, right? So,
Yeah, do you solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States
yes, sir.
against all enemies, foreign
You-
and domestic?
You also promise to give up loyalty to other countries,
Yeah.
to obey the laws, to serve in the military if needed,
Yeah.
to serve the nation, and be loyal to the United States.
Yeah, I love that because, like, I went onto the Immigration Department's website looking at rights and responsibilities. They talk about 6 rights and 9 responsibilities.
Because you were studying for this?
No,
Hold
no.
on.
When I was
Did you just
researching
admit you were
for other
studying for this? Okay,
stuff.
fine.
No.
Joe does have the least number of wrong answers.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay.
Just outed yourself, man. Jeremy, how old do citizens have to be to vote for president?
18 years of age.
Yeah.
Correct. Ellen, what are 2 ways that Americans can participate in their democracy?
They can vote and they can run for office.
Yes, vote, join a political party, help with campaign, join a civic group, join a community group, give an elected official your opinion on an issue, call your senators and representatives, publicly support or oppose an issue or policy, run for office, write to a newspaper.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that civic groups, so community organizations, and the Fourth Estate, the press is involved in that. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to have a future episode on that, like the role of the press in democracy, because I think a much maligned community, and none of this functions without them. So really looking forward to that conversation.
Totally. So we're at question number 56. Do we think we've got time to get through this, or should we do like 10 more? There's 100 of these.
Ellen, you had a
Yeah, maybe
proposal.
we.
Well, my proposal was that maybe we first of all, because I think I'm going to get more answers wrong, and I don't want to do that, on a recorded line, but also because it's such an indication that as people with a very deep interest in this stuff, and people who talk about engaging in civics and educating ourselves about civics, that answering these questions is really hard. And that, understanding how the government works is not something that you can like read on a blog. But it's deeper than that. And I think that's a big motivation for this organization. So I thought we could even talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
No,
you want to keep asking questions? Yeah.
It's not intuitive, is it? Right. I mean, you do you have to actually know the answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, one of the best ways to understand how the whole thing works is to play an active part. And, the minimum I think most people can do is vote or show up for jury duty. We certainly advocate for people volunteering to support elections as volunteers, right? To understand that process and hand out ballots and help people vote. But yeah, I think Ellen and Ben, I mean, you were here at the start. So do you want to talk a little bit about We the Veterans and Military Families, how it came to be and just the why of the organization?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I think we as super patriotic citizens who, again, consider ourselves, educated about the way the country works and the values and the rights and responsibilities, even we didn't exactly know how the intricacies of an election worked, for example. And we recognized as, patriots that lack of education about how it works can lead to people questioning, and also can lead to misinformation, and also can lead to, sort of cleavages in our society based on something that we really could all just understand. And then it would be a lot easier. And that was a motivation. That was one of our motivations. That's, of course, one of our core motivations, Joe, with you about starting the Vet the Vote campaign. Let's get out there and get into the elections and see how it works so that we don't have to be questioning from afar. But I think, when Ben and I were first talking about this stuff, there's so many people that want to, that, the flag has become a question. Like, does that somehow indicate your political party? And who knows the Constitution better has become some form of debate, when really, I mean, Americans are not generally too educated on these deep principled foundations of our democracy and our society. And one political party does not hold the key to how that all happened. The history is not something that one party has or the other, but that really all of us should try to be involved in the system and educate ourselves, because being connected to the military makes us particularly patriotic folks. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at one point it was kind of a required course in high school to take civics. And, a lot of places that's fallen out of the way. And, I think the more I think about it, I teach over at James Madison. I think it ought to be a required class at the collegiate level, right? Every college student, before they enter the professional workforce as a fully fledged adult, probably ought to know a little bit more about how our government is supposed to work. So,
and in the military too, right?
Yeah.
We talk about this a lot. There's just such an obvious opportunity. We do a lot of training on military history and tradition, on induction. Why not do a module on civics, especially on your way out, right?
Yeah.
Ellen's talked about okay, you're about to transition to become a civilian. Well, here's part of the toolkit for being a really good civilian and citizen: civics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when General Krulak used to talk about, we do three things in the Marines. We make Marines, we win battles, and we return quality citizens back to their communities, right? And that last part is super important, because it's when you take off the uniform for the last time and go home, it's your oath to the Constitution doesn't end. Your responsibility to support democracy doesn't end. But how are you going to know how to do that if you don't really know how all this works, right?
And we're all
swear an oath to the Constitution and have never read it, right? I've read through it once. I've got the pocket, Constitution up there. I know at least the first 10 Bill of Rights, but yeah, it's important.
Ben, what were you going to say?
Well, just that, we're all obviously naturally inclined to serve, right? So we're probably going to find ways to continue to do it. And it ought to be, with the best knowledge base to figure out how to engage.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And it really is a national security imperative that American citizens understand this stuff, right? Because, I mean, there are hostile actors, Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, this whole campaign around the globe to crack public faith and trust in democracies. We've seen a lot of it roll back, especially in, Eastern Europe and, arguably even here at home, right? So, it's not a spectator
Yeah, and
sport.
it's easy to be looking at sort of current political parties and be super frustrated, and current politicians themselves and be frustrated and feel like, I don't want to get involved in that. But when you actually look at the history of what the people that started to think about what this country could be did, first of all, they laid an incredible foundation for a new thing, which we all benefit from. But they also, absolutely left open the ability for us to make changes and, update what needed to be updated. And I think there's not enough understanding about how that's supposed to flow in a society, right? I mean, eventually, like, it's okay that women were allowed to vote, I say as a woman, and it's good that the Constitution changed to allow that. And I think it's equally important to understand the foundations as just understand, how we can continue to make the country, as involved citizens, we can continue to invest back in the country, and make it great. And I love that one of the answers to what your, responsibilities are is like being involved in a civic organization and being involved in the process. I mean, that is the part we talk about rights. We rarely talk about responsibilities. And so a lot of people sit, in front of their computers or TVs and talk about their rights instead of going back and saying, but what's my responsibility? What's the other side of that?
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be good as more people get frustrated with the system. It'd be nice if folks doubled down on learning more about it and how it should work so that they could improve it rather than just checking out. I think that's too often the result. As people get frustrated, they're just like, you know what, it's not worth paying attention to because it's broken. But the reality is, it's not broken. A lot of it, and we've talked about this in the past, a lot of it is built into the system. It's designed to be correctable and adjustable along the way. And we have a long history as a country about fighting about what is the right thing to do. Hopefully folks will stay involved. And I think this quiz test, was fun and hopefully reminds people that they should go out and do it. And it can lean towards learning a lot more about the system.
Yeah, definitely. I think, Jeremy, your words remind me that, it's a more than 200-year experiment in democracy, and, being an experiment, has like Ellen said, has the ability to change, right? It's like we try things, see what the results are. If things don't produce the results we want, we're free to get together again and deliberate and try something else, right? So I think my high school AP history teacher once said, he said, in a democracy, he said, ultimately we get the government we deserve. So it's it's on us, right? If we don't like the way politics is, and we think it's too polarized and tribal, then we need to do something about it to pull the country to the center and work for the common good. So,
Joe, you must have had some good teachers.
I know.
You remember all their names.
Quoted two of them and their names. Yeah. I don't think I could.
Yeah,
definitely not.
But it's I think this is the other thing I always love. I mean, we talked about this idea of doing this show of doing the actual test is that, I come from immigrants that made me a member of the DAR, and I come from immigrants that came a heck of a lot more recently from that than that. And to think that, our immigrant relations had to do this kind of work to become citizens. And especially ones that are more recent had to probably do more and take these tests. I mean, it's pretty amazing what people will learn and will do, and the effort they'll take to become an American. And that should make us all feel really good about the country, that people are still, like I was climbing back up on the shore when I didn't get the answers right, so that we can stay a part of this awesome country.
That's awesome. Mine came here in the 1880s, fleeing Prussian authorities. So, I think it's a good way out. Definitely.
Well, everybody gets to stay.
Excellent.
All right,
That's good. Thanks, Ben. No, and thanks for putting this together. I think this was a fun way to kind of tee up our podcast series here, and looking for looking forward to many more conversations. We're going to have former officials. We're going to have members of the media. We're going to have veterans who are working in the democracy space, family members, like everyone who we run across in our journeys across the country that's honestly really trying to put the country first, pull Americans to the center, shoulder the hard burden of doing the messy work of consensus building and, making compromise when we must. And really trying to figure out, and I think most Americans are there. I think, when I talk to people around, even here in rural Virginia, it's like they're sick of tribalism, bitter politics, people standing on opposite ends of the goal line, throwing poo at each other in DC, and they really want to see things happen positively for the country. So, this is great. Thank you all for joining us on an early Monday morning. Ben, especially for you. Hopefully I can see the sun starting to peak a little bit in your windows. But this has been great. Thank you all for doing this. And we look forward to many, many more fantastic conversations around veterans, military families, and democracy.
Excellent.
Thanks
you all.
Thank you so much for listening. If you found this podcast episode interesting or useful, please share it with the people you know. This episode was co-hosted by Joe Plenzler, Ellen Gustafson, and Jeremy Butler. The audio and video were edited by Cameron King. Vet Our Democracy is a production of We the Veterans and Military Families, a 501c3, not-for-profit, nonpartisan, pro-democracy organization. We are focused on promoting positive and patriotic civic engagement to strengthen American democracy. Find out more about us at wetheveterans.us and follow us on social media. Until next time.